8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. COVID-19 recoveries crosses the 27,000 mark in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's COVID-19 numbers saw another surge today, with 376 more persons testing positive for the virus. The airport expected to be reopened for tourists from December 26th. Antigen tests on passengers crossing Western Province borders from today. 5 leaving the Western Province tested positive for COVID-19. New mediation boards for each district to resolve land and financial disputes. In news overseas, US cyber attack, US Energy Department confirms it was hit by sunburst hack. And in sports news, India finishes 62 ahead after Ashwin and Seamers run through Australia. Those were the headlines, and now more to the details of the local news. The Ministry of Health says that 708 patients being treated for COVID-19 have recovered and were discharged from hospitals within the last 24 hours. The majority of the patients discharged are from the Kandakadu Treatment Centre, that was 146, Kopai Treatment Centre 72 and Rambukana Treatment Centre 52. This brings the total number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country to 27,061. Sri Lanka's COVID-19 numbers saw another surge today, with 376 more persons testing positive for the virus. The newly identified patients were identified as close contacts of earlier cases linked to the Paliaguda fish market. As per statistics, the total number of COVID-19 infections confirmed in the country to date now stands at 35,763. However, 8,542 active cases are still under medical care at selected hospitals and treatment centres located across the island. Sri Lanka also witnessed 160 deaths related to COVID-19. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says the airport is expected to reopen for tourists from the 26th of December. Accordingly, the tourism industry will resume in compliance to the guidelines introduced by the Ministry of Health to prevent the spread of COVID-19, he said. The minister made these remarks while speaking to media persons in Baddegama. Tourism industry was adversely affected by the wake of the Easter Sunday terror attacks last year and the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, Minister Ranatunga pointed out. Hence, we are now in the process of making arrangements to resume the tourism industry, he said, adding that the airport is expected to be reopened from the 26th of this month. In order to prevent COVID-19 spreading outside the Western Province during the festive season, rapid antigen tests RAT would be conducted on the passengers crossing the borders of the Western Province with effect from today, 8 a.m. until further notice to prevent COVID-19 spread outside the Western Province during the forthcoming festive season, informed sources confirmed last night. These tests would be carried out on random individuals and testing would be carried out in 3 locations in the province. According to a letter to the Provincial Director of Health Services, Western Province, it stated that the testing would be carried out to identify risk of passengers in 3 locations in the province and also to prevent the virus from spreading to other districts. The sources said that tests would be carried out on random individuals. The process will be facilitated by the police. In addition, respective regional directors of health services must deploy their teams to the following locations to carry out antigen tests. The locations are Nittambua along the Colombo Kandy Road, Salawa Koskama along the Colombo Avisavala Road, and Katunaka along the Colombo Chilo Road. The minister said the decision has been taken under the directive of the Director General of Health Services. Earlier, Army Commander Shavendra Silva also said that RAT would be conducted targeting people travelling especially to upcountry areas during the upcoming festive season. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
And we continue with more local news. 5 persons who were leaving the Western Province today have tested positive for COVID-19 in rapid random rapid antigen tests. Commander of the Army Lieutenant General Shavendra Siva said a total of 451 individuals were subjected to rapid antigen tests today as they were moving out of the provincial limits. Of these tests, 5 have tested positive for the virus. Earlier today, the Director General of Health Services announced that random rapid antigen tests will be performed on persons living in the Western Province. Testing was carried out at 4 locations. Authorities have urged the members of the public to avoid moving out of the Western Province during the festive season in order to prevent further spread of the novel coronavirus. The Ministry of Justice has decided to resume the activities of mediation booths which came to a halt due to the COVID-19 outbreak from the 9th of January 2021. The decision was taken during a meeting held between the Justice Minister Ali Sabri and the members of the Mediation Boards Commission. Meanwhile, the government has decided to establish separate mediation board, Samatha Mandala, in each district for resolving disputes pertaining to land and financial issues. According to reports, large number of complaints regarding land and financial disputes are received by mediation boards. Under the first phase, new mediation boards will be established in the Colombo, Gapaha, Kurunegala, Kandy and Anuradhapura districts. At present, mediation boards operate 4 days per month. However, a further decision was taken to increase that number of days to 6. The police say a special operation will be launched from tonight to nab motorists violating motor traffic regulations, including motorists driving under the influence of liquor. The police media spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana said the operation will also focus on vehicles travelling with various lights and tone patterns installed. The police DIG revealed that 10 fatalities were recorded in the last 48 hours due to road traffic accidents. He noted before COVID-19 pandemic, around 10 deaths were recorded on a daily basis. However, the number fell due to the restriction on travel and lockdowns, adding, however, that the number is on the rise once again. The police media spokesman urged the motorists and pedestrians alike to remain responsible to prevent accidents and strictly abide by the law. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. COVID-19 recoveries crosses the 27,000 mark in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's COVID-19 numbers saw another surge today with 376 more persons testing positive for the virus. Airport expected to be reopened for tourists from December 26th. Antigen tests on passengers crossing the Western Province borders from today. 5 leaving the Western Province test positive for COVID-19. New mediation boards for each district to resolve land and financial disputes. And that was the local news.
Darling, our daughter has top O-level results. Do you know what this means?
Yes, just 3 years and she'll be going abroad for her degree.
For which we'll need a bank loan.
But is a normal loan the smartest option?
What else?
The smartest way is to start an HDFC Smart Goals account.
Let your child begin their degree with no delays. Start an HDFC Smart Goals account. Call 2356 888.
Honey, you're so smart.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The main news story for tonight, Director General of National Building and Research Organization Asiri Karunaratne says around 30% of the country's population is residing in landslide-prone areas of the country. Mr. Karunaratne made these remarks after commencing the project to make Ayagama town a landslide-free area. A sum of 120 million rupees has been spent on this project, which is expected to mitigate the damages of landslide. And that came to you as the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhaleba.
In Watchlight tonight, consumers complain about the escalating of prices of the essential goods during the festive season. Some traders increase the prices arbitrarily. This has caused immense difficulties to the low-income families. Some traders say the prices are increased to cover their transport and other overheads. The reason seems to be a usual excuse for these types of errant trading. This is for the attention of the Consumer Affairs Authority. From that, we move on to the headlines of the world news. U.S. cyber attack. U.S. Energy Department confirms it was hit by sunburst hack. COVID vaccine. India expects to begin vaccination in January. Mozambique's Islamist insurgency. UN warns of rising violence in Cabo Delgado. Those were the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the world news. The U.S. Energy Department is the latest agency to confirm it has been breached in what is being described as the worst ever hack on the U.S. government. The department is responsible for managing U.S. nuclear weapons but said the arsenal's security has not been compromised. Tech giant Microsoft also said on Thursday that it found malicious software in its systems. Many suspect the Russian government is responsible. It has denied any role. India expects to begin vaccinating people against COVID-19 in January, federal health official told the BBC. The officials, who requested anonymity, said new vaccine candidates were likely to get emergency use authorization from the drug regulatory in the next few weeks. 2 companies have already applied for consideration and 6 more are in various stages for clinical trials. The number of civilians forced from their homes by conflict in northern Mozambique has quadrupled this year to 420,000 according to the United Nations. It links the crisis to in Cabo Delgado province, not just to attack by Islamist militants, but to a perceived failure to distribute vast mineral and offshore gas revenues to the local population. A senior UN refugee official said visiting Cabo Delgado described the situation as really dire and urged Mozambique's neighbors and the wider international community to intervene in what she said had been, for too long, an invisible crisis. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. U.S. cyber attack. U.S. Energy Department confirms it was hit by sunburst hack. COVID vaccine. India expects to begin vaccination in January. Mozambique's Islamic insurgency. UN warns of rising violence in Cabo Delgado. That was the world news, and now we move on to development news. A program to provide vegetables and fruits at reasonable prices to the consumers has been implemented. The Agriculture Department expects to provide traders with the produce directly purchased from the farmers through Narahempita, Meegoda and Valisara economic centres. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has instructed to take immediate steps to control the price increase of vegetables and fruits under the prevailing situation. A special discussion in this regard took place between Minister Mahindananda Aluthkamage and the business community at the Narahempita Economic Centre. The program will be implemented with the participation of district secretaries of Nuwara Eliya, Badulla and Anuradhapura, Farmers Association and relevant officials. That was the development news, and moving on to sports news, India finished 62 ahead after Ashwin and Seamers run through Australia. As day-night tests can do, the action in Adelaide went into fast forward as 15 wickets fell on the second day, with India responding to what looked like a below-par batting effort with a superb team performance from the bowlers, in which R. Ashwin benefited from the pressure created by the 3 quick bowlers. In scoreboard, India batted first and made 244 in their first innings. In reply, Australia were bowled out for 191. India were 9 for 1 at closer play on the first day's play of the first test. Meanwhile, former Sri Lankan coach Dave Watmore has been appointed as the head coach for Nepalese cricket team. That was the sports news, and in business news, partnering one of the nation's largest conglomerates, Sri Lanka's most innovative bank HNB plc announced the commencement of multiple long-term finance facilities totaling to 8.5 billion rupees for Haley's plc and the group subsidiaries. The agreement was facilitated by HNB's corporate banking division, which is a key vertical within the bank's wholesale group and presently manages the bank's needs of bulk of the large blue chip corporates and conglomerates in the country. That was the business news, and economic news follows.
Economic news, courtesy of
Business deals now easy. It just takes a few taps only. Anytime, get it done, all connected. Best discounts with real time. LOLC Real Time. Now download LOLC Finance Real Time app for your LOLC savings account. Attractive interest rates, transactions anytime, anywhere with a zero cost and no benefits.
And in economic news, Sri Lanka will finally open its airport for tourism from December 26th to accommodate around 5,000 Russian region-based tourists, former Sri Lankan ambassador to Russia Udayanga Veeratunga said. He said this would be under a trend-setting pilot project, which is well-planned and coordinated by Veeratunga himself, and he has also received the cabinet approval and health authorities' green light. Veeratunga said that he wanted to execute this project 2 months ago, but due to the second COVID-19 wave in Sri Lanka, this project was on hold. With the replanned execution of this project, the local travel industry, which is at a standstill, will receive a major boost of around $10 million and will also revive the supporting industries. That was economic news and the weather report to conclude.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
When will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And finally, the weather report. The Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the northern, north central, eastern and Uva provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places elsewhere in the evening. This weather report was published this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. And before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's get back to the headlines once again. COVID-19 recoveries crosses the 27,000 mark in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's COVID-19 numbers saw another surge today, with 376 more persons testing positive for the virus. Airport expected to be reopened for tourists from December 26th. Antigen tests on passengers crossing the Western Province borders from today. 5 leaving the Western Province test positive for COVID-19. New mediation boards for each district to resolve land and financial disputes. In news overseas, U.S. cyber attack. U.S. Energy Department confirms it was hit by sunburst hack. And finally on sports news, India finishes 62 ahead after Ashwin and Seamers run through Australia. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news. And now it's back to your Friday evening host, my good friend Victor Raj, to keep you entertained.